Hey guys, Pizza here, well, soon as YouTube asks me if I want to change my username again, I'm going to change it to Alucard Elric. Um, I'll make another video about that later if you guys want to know why I'm choosing that name. Um, right now, I'm here to talk about what I'm going to do, with, all my spare time between me getting a computer and actually being able to do Let's Plays. I've been watching a few videos today on YouTube, and I was thinking about doing something like comparing different games and saying, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, I know both these games, or this franchise series, has many different games that I bet people would prefer me to talk about, but I can get to those another time. Right now I'm just going to stay with these two for my first video and see how it goes. So, without further ado, in Kingdom Hearts 1, you start off on an island with your friends, and this game ties in this franchise ties in Disney characters, Final Fantasy characters, and then of course, Sora, who is an original character, and Riku, Kairi as well. There aren't that many other normal, or not to say normal, but original characters in the series other than in these two games, other than those three. And that's what the main story is revolved around, as those three characters. They're the best of friends on this island that you start out in, and the theme goes from happy and hanging out with your friends during, I'm guessing it's summer vacation, and to turning something very, very dark, and you get just thrown into just chaos. In the first one, after you do a couple days on the island, you, Riku, and Kairi are planning on going, you're building a raft and you plan on setting out to see the world. What happens on the last night before you guys set out, you guys go home early, get rest so you can head out the next day, but there's a storm that happens and everything it's all really confusing. You get there are these strange creatures that are on screen now somewhere. It's mostly these guys, but they come and they really just, they're everywhere, and you try to fight them off with your wooden sword, and you can't. Your blade passes right through them, and you just have to run. You get to the smaller island that bridges off, and you see Riku standing there, and he's just saying all this weird stuff, and it really makes the player wonder, how does he know all this? How does he know what the darkness is? Of course he says he's not afraid of this and he doesn't know where it's going to take them, but how does he know that it's okay? How does he know that he can trust going there? Letting it swallow him up, basically. But you reach out for his hand as the darkness envelops both of you, and in a bright light, this is when you get your Keyblade. And then Riku's gone, the shadow that was swallowing you guys up is gone, and then all the little shadows come after you, and you're just like, well, damn. Now, as you continue on, you go to the back of their little secret hiding place, and this takes you, you see Kairi in there, and she is, like, dead, or drunk off her ass, or, she's just acting really weird. And all of a sudden you're like, Sora's staring at her like, okay, what? And of course, you as the player, you're sitting there going, I don't understand this, I don't, why am I playing this game, but don't stop, because it gets much better, and this is a reason a lot of people stop playing. It's because, does have Disney characters in it, and the first game is very confusing, but, if you keep going, then other things have happened weird, but I'm just trying to streamline this. And then, Kairi comes flying at you, and you go to catch her, and she goes through you. There's this huge gust of wind, then you get blown out too. And then, if when you choose your stats, which happens in both of these games, you basically choose if you want to give up strength, magic, or defense, and then gain strength, magic, or defense. It depends on what you give up and what you take, depends on your starting stats. So it really depends. It really shapes towards what you are as a gamer. If you prefer to be the strong guy that just plows through everything, has no need for defense because you're not gonna get hit because you kill everything before it can touch you, or you're the guy that likes to use magic and you need the defense and you stay back and you cast the spells, or you're just a balanced character that, you know, does a little bit of everything but not really the best at anything either. Also, they ask you questions. This only happens in the first game. Yeah, the first game you get asked 3 questions, and these depend on how fast you level up. So that one kind of sucks. So it's kind of best to figure out which one makes you level up faster, unless of course you're trying to challenge yourself. Then you can of course play as the slower level up, but of course they have critical mode or proud mode for that, so I don't know why you would do that. But as you continue on, then you start going through the Disney worlds, as well as other, like Hollow Bastion. That, I'm pretty sure that one's original. But as you can see, or I don't know what I'm saying, as you can see. Stop. Now the difference is between Kingdom Hearts, the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 is at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, you find Kairi, but she gets dragged off somewhere else, and presumably back to the island, while you are left without her, basically. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you start the game, you don't start as Sora, you start as a boy named Roxas. As you go through the first, as you go through his days, his final days, I should say, you learn, basically anything. If you didn't play Chain of Memories or Re-Chain of Memories, you basically learn everything that happened to Sora, and Roxas, and why Roxas has to disappear. After you learn all this, Roxas becomes depressed, and in the end, eventually just gives in and returns to Sora, thus awakening him. Sora. Alright, so, back on track. What happens is, Sora comes out of his little shell that he was entrapped in for Chain of Memories and or Re-Chain of Memories, depending on which you played, or if you played them at all. But, again, Chain of Memories, or Re-Chain of Memories, was, I'm guessing it was mostly filler, but I'm guessing they did add some things in, because this, to me, this franchise was very planned out, even with their side games. Of course, most of them aren't, you don't need to play them, but if you do, you can get little, just tiny little things that you're like, before they even start to explain them, which they do, in case you didn't play the side games. But, of course, they're always just, you know, fun pastimes as well. I'm gonna get to Recoded in another video, because that's something I want to talk about. That game, I need to play through that again, because I'm still kind of confused on that. But, continuing on here, what I like about Kingdom Hearts 1 is that it throws you into this world just out of nowhere. You're just normal kid living on an island with his best friends, and all of a sudden you get swallowed up by this big black mass and you're thrown into Traverse Town, which then you meet Donald and Goofy and leads you off to a whole bunch of other worlds, and it just, after that, it isn't finished, thus making more games, which I was happy they did, because Kingdom Hearts 1 was very enjoyable. And Kingdom Hearts 2, they did fix a few things, such as being able to, I like the idea of having to be able to have different forms, and it's not overpowered either, because let's say you go into your Wisdom form, most people use Donald as their healer, because he really isn't good for much else. sorry. But if you do that, then you have Goofy. Not only that, but when you're in your Wisdom form, you skate around really fast, so you usually leave Goofy behind, and you don't have your healer around, so if you take too much damage, you have to keep an eye on your health and make sure that you can heal yourself, and you're not too swarmed in combat. And with the Valor form, you are stuck with Donald. Of course, you don't get much help in physical combat, but you do get healings if you need it. And then you have your other forms, is the Master, Final, and for the Dark form, don't ask me how to get that, it happens. I don't know how to do it. No, I don't get it. It just happens. Sometimes. Annoyingly. Back to the other forms, you have your Master form, which takes both Goofy and Donald, or Goofy and character from World, or character from World and Donald. And this form is pretty badass, I'm gonna say. The combos are long, your magic is good, because you're taking the power of Goofy, which is a fighter, and then Donald, which is the magic person, mage, and you get physical attacks along with some magical attributes, like in the air. Your air combo is, at the end, basically you cast a magnet around yourself, and you spin your Keyblade around you, hitting other enemies, and it's pretty cool. And you have your final form. There's no other words to describe this form other than badass. And yeah, I think this one is kind of overpowered. Your strength is hugely increased, as well as your magic power. You don't even hold your Keyblades. You float about 2-3 inches off the ground. Your Keyblades float behind you as if they were in, just back here. And all you do is wave your hand, and they come flying out, and they just destroy everything. Not only that, but your air combo is you spin around in the air, and your Keyblades shoot out magic shit, just blowing away everything. And just... Now, the Dark form is a blessing and a curse. Again, this happens sometimes. I don't really know what the exact stats are for it, but this happens sometimes, and instead of getting the form that you wanted, say I'm fighting this big boss and I wanted to use my final form, you turn into Heartless, basically. But it's not like a little shadow, or the more normal version of Heartless Sora. The one where he's, he looks pretty normal except for the eyes. This one, he turns into like a beast. He has these long claws, and he's got just darkness seeping out from him, and he's very fast. His attacks don't do much damage, but again, they hit multiple times, and usually they hit more than one enemy at once. But the thing is, you don't get to pick up HP orbs, and you can't use magic, so you have to be very careful when you're in this form. And I don't think you can revert back even. You have to wait until the time runs out, thus wasting all this drive you built up. But overall, Kingdom Hearts 1 is a great adventure game. Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It is an amazing game, but it's more streamlined. And you go to new worlds, and you go back to them for a second time. But overall, the game just feels shorter, and you don't have to go through all the worlds twice. And, of course, like Kingdom Hearts 1 has the 100 Acre Woods, there's also the 100 Acre Woods in Kingdom Hearts 2, as well as Atlantica. And unlike Kingdom Hearts 1, where Atlantica, I'm pretty sure, was a mandatory world, Atlantica here is just a minigame world, such as the 100 Acre Woods. And you just do minigames. It's like dancing, kind of like Guitar Hero. Don't shoot me for that. I'm saying kind of. Don't hurt me. But honestly, the games are both very amazing games, but they are different. The first one is a longer, more drawn out to get you accustomed to the Kingdom Hearts world. Well, the second one is more streamlined, and again, you can end it before you have to. I choose to go through all the worlds twice, even though the land, or the castle that never was, or the land that never was, appears before you do all of that. I prefer to go through all of it, and even do all of Atlantica, as well as the 100 Acre Woods. Again, you don't have to. Another thing that I'd like to say is the Ultimate Key. It is in both games, and for Kingdom Hearts 2 is the only game that I've ever had the Ultimate Key for. I lied. I just got it in Kingdom Hearts 3DS for Riku for beating Pete, but I'm pretty sure it was something else. I don't know. If I wasn't using my DS to record, I'd look it up, but you know what? In the 3DS version, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, you have to defeat Julius, which is basically Pete, except he looks like Frankenstein. So, now that that's out of the way, I forgot what I was talking about, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with Ultimate Key. In Kingdom Hearts 2, what you do is you have to find 7 pieces of Oraculum Plus, and you have to be very careful not to spend this on something else, or, you know, sell it. I think you can sell it, I'm not sure. But, don't do that. Keep it with you, don't use it for anything else. Oraculum Plus is meant for the Ultimate Key. There is only 7 or 8 in the game, and you need all 7 or 8 to make the key. So don't waste it on any other item. Trust me, it's not as good as the Ultimate Key, even though you only get to use it for the final fight. But if you're fighting on critical mode or proud mode, you're going to want that extra attack and magic power for the final fight, because Xemnas and all of his 3 or 4 forms is annoying. Alright, so in Kingdom Hearts 1, you basically have to fight Ansem, which he is the Lord of Darkness. Maleficent, I am the Queen of Darkness. So in both games you finish him, and in the first one, Kairi, again, you don't get reunited with Kairi, and Riku is with Mickey behind the door of darkness, sealing it. And then, of course, Kairi leaves you, and you're all sad and lonely and shit. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, the final battle, spoilers, you have Riku and Kairi with you. Riku is actually your optional world partner, like Aladdin is for Agrabah, Jack is for Pirates of the Caribbean, and then Jack Skellington is for Halloween Town and Christmas Town. But, yes, Riku is with you. He is badass, and so is your Limit Break. But, yeah, you have, and Kairi also gets a Keyblade, and you also learn a lot of things about Organization 13 in the side games, so even though you guys don't really, you're like, I need to make Kingdom Hearts 3, they do have some information that you don't necessarily need, but some of it is pretty cool to know before they actually have to start explaining it. And Dream Drop Distance, I really suggest playing that one. It's not as much as a side game as you think. It's got some pretty important points in it. Although it's, you know, shown differently in a different way, it's got different, I don't know, it's got different aspects to it, and, stuff like that. Like, in, Kingdom Hearts 365/2 or something like that. You know how you had slot commands and you can only use magic a certain number of times before you had to reload it with an ether, and if you had so much magic and you used 1 ether, you only get 1 slot back, and you're just like, ugh, it's so hard to get all 10 of my charges back for fire, but, you know, I don't know why they did that. I think they should have just kept the magic bar, but I guess it was either as a challenge or, I don't know, but things that gamers need to realize is they changed something. They were trying something new. If it failed, don't blame the entire franchise for it. Don't blame everything on just that one game. They will realize it when people are commenting about it, like on their page or whatever, and saying stuff, but you don't need to be jackasses about it. They tried something new, it didn't work, they're gonna tweak it and change it back to as normal as they can, Or if you did like it, if you do like it, then you're gonna, you know, stick with it, and like the commands at the side of the screen that you turn and then reload. I still think they should go with the original. You got loop, and you got the second loop. I do like in Kingdom Hearts 2 better than Magic Age. Kingdom Hearts 1 is kind of hard to get your magic back, and it's a bit confusing at first. Kingdom Hearts 1, you had little blue blocks that went up on the side of your screen, and you went around, just like your health bar, which would go around. But you were filling magic. Say you used a piece of magic. That's a chunk gone. So you had 2, that's 1 gone. You have this yellow line that as you hit things goes up, then as it gets here, the yellow line disappears and the blue bar comes back. You have to get all the way up to that second bar to get your third one, and it just keeps going on. Kingdom Hearts 2, you use all your magic, you go into MP Drive, which actually adds energy to your drive bar as your magic refills so that you can use it again. I thought this is very, it was a good way to get drive, because in some places it's kind of hard to get it. And also, you know, I think that's pretty much it. I've compared them as much as I'm going to, really. But if I think of anything else, I'll add it. If I post a video after I think of adding it, then maybe I'll just toss it in with the next video, comparing video. So, comment on if you liked this new series or not. Also, I would like to comment on what you'd like me to review next, whether it be Metroid games, Legend of Zelda games, more Kingdom Hearts games, and I'm only going to compare like 2 at a time. Like I'll do Metroid Prime and Super Metroid or something like that, and yeah, just let me know. And really, this series depends on the comments and likes of 2 people, because I've got 3 or 4 subscribers. When I said 5 or 10 in my other one, I lied. I've got like 3. Sad face. But yes, I have 2 people that if they like the series, I'm going to continue it. So 2 people, you know who you are. Either I told you, or you should just know, because I've only got 3 of you following me. Alright, this is now Alucard Elric signing off. See you guys later. Keep on gaming.
「夢をみんなたい大人はもう寝る時間」